Rhea. In this program we are going to create a structure named apartment that contains the data fields to hold the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms and the monthly rent for the apartment. So we'll be writing a program that will create an apartment and which will prompt the user for the number of bedrooms and bathrooms desired. Now we'll determine the rent from the following table and set the rent field appropriately. Now if the requested apartment type is not available, then we'll set the rent field to 0. According to this table, we'll be using nested if else. Now we'll display all the data including an error message if the entered data is invalid or if number of apartments are available with the requested combination. So for this program, we have to declare a structure variable. We have to declare a structure apt, and inside this structure variable we'll be declaring the required variables, that is int nbed, int nbath and int mrent. Now inside the main method we'll be declaring the structure variable m1. Now the user has to input the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms. Once the user has entered the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms, then we'll move on according to that particular table that is given in the question. So before that we'll be initializing the rent to 0. Now according to that table, the first condition we'll check, that is if m1 dot nbed equal to 1. Now inside this if block we have another if else statement. So that is if m1 dot nbath equal to 1. If it is so, then rent's value will be fixed to 650 and then we'll display this particular value. Now else if m1 dot nbath equal to 2, then we'll show that there's no combination as such as possible. We'll just display the message not available. And then apart from these values, if the user enters any other value, then we have to display invalid entry. Now this particular if block is over, then we move on to the next else statement, that is if m1 dot nbed equal to 2, then we'll move on to its inner part, that is if m1 dot nbath equal to 1, then we'll set the rent as 829 and then display it. Then if m1 dot nbath equal to 2, then we'll set the rent as 925 and then display it. If the user inputs any other value apart from these values, then the compiler will show invalid entry. Now we'll move on to the next else statement, that is if m1 dot nbed equal to 3, then inside this else statement we have another if, that is if m1 dot nbath equal to 1, then we'll show that there's no such combination available. And another else statement, if m1 dot nbath equal to 2, then we'll show that monthly rent is 1075 and we'll display it. And if the user inputs any other value except these, then we'll show invalid entry. Now let us see how this program works. Suppose if I'm entering the number of bathrooms as 1 and number of bedrooms as 1 and number of bathrooms as 1, then it is showing that the monthly rent is 650. Now if I enter any other value which is not according to the table, suppose if I enter number of bedrooms as 3 and number of bathrooms as 4, there's no such combination available, right? So it will show an error message, that is invalid entry. This is how the program works. Thank you.